my current project looks at a fairly new dimension in Japanese foreign policy, which is a civilian military component that we had not really seen before. I think it's clear that the Japanese have begun to utilize the self-defense force along with development assistance and soft power in creating a fairly, I think, distinctive foreign policy if you look at the history of Japanese approaches to the external world. I'm looking in particular at what Japan has been doing in Afghanistan and in Iraq. I think those are very historic cases. I think there are two so-called traps that I think we may have to look at. One is the one that the ADB discussed fairly comprehensively in its 2050 report, which is what you call the middle income trap. Yes, it's nice if rapid economic growth can continue, but I think you have expressed the fear that at some point growth will stagnate, and you are looking at the possible consequences of that. So I think the ADB identified the first trap. The second trap is what a lot of people refer to as this famous Thucydides trap, in which you have basically rising powers clashing. The great concern, I think, or the challenge is when these two are conflated, when economic growth and the need for new resources overlap with territorial issues and other issues of that type. So in a sense, if you had to pick one major challenge in the future, perhaps that might be the major one. The simple answer is yes. I think Japan's case. Japan started out right after the occupation as both a donor country and a recipient country. And Japan has translated its recipient status into becoming the premier donor throughout the 1990s for a 10-year period. It's not a question of whether countries can be both. The question is what kind of donor country can you be? And I think each country, each rising power will develop its own style, its own type.